surfaces of the water, and then they suck it in since they don't actually have any teeth. So a lot of people believe they have teeth. However, this isn't true. They have a really rough sandpaper down. So I've been bitten by plenty of things in the reptile house: snakes, dragons. Now those critters in there, they leave little teeth marks and actually puncture your skin, so you do bleed a little bit. But with the bear monkey, I've been bitten by that. He takes his food around like all other fish do. He's got an easy, lazy way of bringing his food straight to him. Now what I actually am feeding him is a wood cockroach. So he does have a little bit of a fetish for bugs. Archerfish out in the wild will basically spit for any food item you do show them. So I do go out into river systems with some bread, and they do shoot like crazy for little pieces of bread. Now with our archerfish, the whole time he's been here with us, he has been fed off these shiny tongs here, which means he's started to associate shiny objects with getting food. So we have had people lean over the aquarium innocently taking a photo, or just with a shiny watch like I have, and then he decides he's getting food because there's something shiny in view, and he does spit at it. So you are welcome to actually try that. We don't mind at all. As long as you don't drop anything in, everything will be okay. But yeah, you're welcome to try that if you want to try and make him spit at you. Yeah, that is actually all I have to feed for today, so thank you everyone for watching.
And gets a free feed while they're busy eating away on the animal that he's already killed. Now hopefully we can get Jack to perform a nice, well, Leo to perform a nice bite for us folks, which is essentially the air being compressed in his jaws, making a really loud pop. That was a very small one there. Now a bit above the osteoderms, folks, if you look up around his neck, you'll see he's got 6 plates running along his neck there. Now they're called nuchals, and they're mainly used for defense or protection. So a lot of our crocodiles will store fat around their necks also, folks, as when they are fighting, sitting up next to each other, hitting their heads next to each, or pretty much into each other, they don't want to obviously hit any vital organs. Now a lot like us, folks, crocodiles have plenty of different senses. So they can see, they can smell, they can hear. Their eyesight is a little better than ours though. They can see in the dark, and they've also got an inbuilt pair of goggles. So as you're looking at some of our crocodiles swimming around under the water, you might see a little membrane slide straight over their eye. Now that is called a nictitating membrane, and it works like an inbuilt pair of goggles. So that means these guys can head straight underwater, don't get any debris in their eyes, they can cruise along swimming very happily. Thing to open his mouth. Now as Jack pops his head over the side there, he's just tying up a bit of meat, a bit of fish right there. There we go. We'll see if we can get Axel to perform for us today. Right, so tap him over. Crocodiles are filled with pressure sensors, folks, allowing them to feel vibration. That's why Jack's tapping on the wall there, just to get Leo's attention and bring him over. Now we'll see if this works for us today, folks. So a simple command. We're just taking a little bit on the cheekier side today. There we go, so his mouth slowly opening there. Simple movement of putting our hands out, opening our hands. Gets him to open his mouth a little bit there, which works really well for if you ever have, TV or anybody coming in who wants to do some filming. Makes it a lot easier if they can get a really cool shot of the crocodile with his mouth open without any holes in the way. Now all of our crocodiles do have different personalities, folks. Some are really cheeky, some really like to work with us, and a bit like Leo, he's a little bit confused this morning. Need a flat line 2 sugars, don't you, mate, when you do it. Now there's a few ways to tell the age of a crocodile, folks. A lot like a tree, you actually cut through their bones, you count the rings just like a tree. Another way is if you have a look at those nuchals, those 6 plates just behind his head there, and also all of those bumps on his head. The larger those are, essentially in height and width, is the older the crocodile is. So Leo is probably around the 80-year mark. A lot of our crocodiles are roughly about 80, 90 years old. Now out there in the bush though, that's about as long as a crocodile lives, about 90 years old on average. But here in captivity, crocodiles can live up to about 130 years old, and they essentially grow until they die. Our females stop at about 3 meters. Good stuff. Anyway, folks, so like I was saying before, if you would like to have a go at fishing for crocodiles, all you need to do is head back down those stairs, past the bite force machine. You see we've already got a line set up now. All you want to do is head towards the back of that line, wait patiently, you can all head out and have a bit of a fish with some of our baby crocodiles. Now, thank you very much for listening to my show today, guys. I hope you've had a fantastic day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Other than that, I'll see you around the park.
This is a picture of my brother's snake. He's got a couple of snakes in his home. Like pet snakes.
I know people that they're snake catchers,
And
so they've got a back room full of snakes and it's full. And they're like, do you want to come over?
Not
Really?
That one's a dark one.
It's a nice one.
No, that one's the one.
There's a nice one. There's a nice one and a
I heard it was white and yellow, and it went around.
Still.
No. A lot of them keep venomous reptiles too. It's cool, eh?
Is he trying to escape?
Just trying to bite you.
Oh. That's too creature.
This one's cool.
I was going to get it as it's swimming back up and then put it in fast forward.
6th snake on the planet. Number 4. How crazy is that? They love eating frogs. So down in Victoria and down in WA, you get these fellas living in swampy marshlands. How many people have I tricked? Is this a tiger snake? No. No, it's not a tiger snake. Does anybody know what sort of snake this is? A black-headed python? Nearly. It's actually a Woma python. So considering that it's a python, it is completely harmless. Woma pythons aren't found in Victoria, they're found in the central deserts of Australia. So if you were to head on down to Alice Springs, down to Uluru, if you're really lucky, you might come across one of these snakes out on the sand dunes. Now, Woma pythons in the wild actually love eating venomous snakes and lizards. That's their only food source. They eat reptiles out in the wild. Now, we wouldn't be much of a reptile display if we had a big fat Woma python and nothing else because we had to feed our display to him. So we've actually tricked young Rose, that's her name, Rose over here. Rose loves eating ratatouille. Ratatouille's asleep at the moment. We're going to wake him up in a little bit. Put him back in his little bowl there. So yeah, because this python is a python, it's a constricting snake. So when it kills its food out in the wild, it uses constriction. Not venom or poison. So this, if we were to be bitten by it, would be completely harmless. I reckon she's pretty hungry today, so I'll tell you what, let's get on into the feeding, shall we? Let's wake this rat up and get the show on the road. Alrighty, so I've got these big long tongs so I don't get bitten because I don't want to get bitten, even though it would be harmless. And come on, mate, wake up. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Best thing for you to do is get your video cameras going. If you wanted to try and get a photo, you probably won't get it. But here we go. Squeak, squeak. Squeak, squeak, squeak. See how she's moving her body? She's trying to move that rat to her face. Over it, open, quick. Quick. Yeah. What is she doing? She's not a very smart snake, is she? Snakes are far from smart, especially worm pythons. Alrighty, we ready? You silly Billy. Alright, let's go. Squeak, 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 squeak. Squeak, squeak. Oh, there